All right, team R169. Once again, we have 5 circuits. There are 2 main circuits. Just like with 168, you're doing right, left, then you switch to the next exercise, right, left. That's round 1. So there's 2 exercises. You do right, left, then next exercise, right, left, then that's end of round 1, then you go to round 2. So just remember, you're not staying on that exercise for more than 1 round, but you do both the right and the left, then you move to the next station. Again, you have a 35-second transition time from exercise to exercise and only 15 seconds between your right side and left side. Your first circuit, you're going to do a squat pulse and then an alternate reverse lunge. So the alternating reverse lunge, you're coming up and then go back down to that reverse lunge. There is no rest in between the squat pulse and the reverse lunge. Then after your 2 main circuits, you're going to do basically the same thing as what you started with, but you're going to do the squat pulse and then you're going to do the squat hold reverse lunge. That's where you're in the squatted position and you stay in that squatted position and you're alternating back, but you're staying in the squatted position so you don't actually come up. It's going to be a little bit more intense there. Then you have a 45-second rest. During that time, you're going to want to get the rubber bands, put them in the middle of the floor, have everybody grab a rubber band, put it around their legs, and that's when they're going to do the rubber band squat side step. So they're going to be in the squatted position, and they're just going to step from side to side, but they're going to stay in that squatted position. The lower you go with this, the more intense it's going to be. So if they're up here, or you'll see a lot of people do this because they're getting tired, but really the hips, drop the hips, because that's what really engages those legs. And again, the lower they go, the more intense it's going to be. You really want to make it hard, get their butt down. That's probably most people won't be able to do that for very long. If they need a little bit more, grab a kettlebell, have them hold it goblet style, because that forces that to get a little bit better posture. If you pull this, it kind of pulls you forward. Just remember, the main circuit is right, left, then next exercise, right, left. That's round 1. Just don't forget that, because that can get very confusing. And their team is R169. Squat pulse. So on the squat pulse, the key to any squat is to keep the chest up, hips go back. You don't need to have a super wide stance, about a little bit wider than shoulder width. You're going to come down, hips go back, and chest stays up. On the pulse, you are going to stay low and you are going to pulse it. Very challenging to do for an extended period of time. In fact, and very, very difficult for a brand new person. For a brand new person, simply have them do a limited squat. So they're not even going to go that deep. They come up, squat, come up. So for your advanced people, they squat, they go low. You want them low, you want that chest up, and you want them pulsing, just like that. Again, for a new person, don't have them go low, don't have them stay low. They come up and they lock the legs, and they take that weight off the legs. But that is the squat pulse. Long lunge, we come down, we press through that front heel, come down, press through the front heel, keeping that chest up. Proud chest, the shoulders are down and back. You want to think about it as proud chest. So really stick that chest out there and keep that chest up. What I see a lot of, again, I see a lot of this, because this is not putting in a range of motion in your legs, it's putting it in your back. So for people that have weak legs or weak glutes, that is going to be more prevalent than something like this. It's going to be easier. Plus, it's not a motion that they're used to doing. The lunge is very long, which they're not used to having that long of a lunge. But that's going to be, and again, preferably the goblet until it gets too heavy, then the double kettlebell on either side. So there is the goblet alternating reverse lunge. All right, the 3-point row. So the 3-point row, one of the most first things to remember is neutral spine. This is neutral spine. This is not. This is not. Your neutral spine is what you would normally be walking around. Key here, long lunge. Elbow on your knee. You have 3 points of support. You have your foot, your elbow, and your back foot. So those are your 3 points of support. That's why it's a 3-point row. Drop your hips. You don't want your hips that far up. You want your hips down. Chest comes down. Notice my chest is not up. I don't want my chest up. I want my chest down. Shoulders are down and back. So they're not up here. That's going to work traps. I want the shoulders down and back. And then I'm going to pull up to my belly button. I'm not pulling up to my chest. That's going to engage my traps. So My arm rubs against my body so it stays nice and tight and close up to my belly button area, or that general area right there, and then back down again. Again, I'm concentrating on using my lat muscles, and you have to tell people to concentrate on whatever muscle group it is, because if you mentally concentrate on that muscle group, you will get more out of it. This one, to make it easier for new people, simply do lighter weight. So that's pretty simple on that one. If this bothers their lower back, because being in that position, you can always do 3-point row from a bench. But there is the 3-point row. The rubber band, single arm rubber band row hold. What is that? You're gonna have 2 of these. Now again, you need 5 stations. So you're gonna have 5 stations set up with at least 2 of the same rubber bands so that they can, they're not using different types or sizes of rubber bands. Squatted position, you're just gonna stay squatted. You're not gonna come up and down into a squat. Pull back with both arms. One arm stays back, the other is rowing. So one arm stays back. Notice my shoulders are down. I'm not doing this. I'm not dropping my head and raising my shoulders up. My shoulders are down. My chest is I stick my chest out and I'm rowing. Just like this. Again, and squeeze. Have them concentrate on squeezing the actual muscle they're working, which is going to be the lat muscle, okay? This is going to be the single leg contralateral kettlebell deadlift. So, option 1 is going to be both hands, both legs. Come down, slight bend in the legs. I keep my back straight, so I'm not rounding off like this. Neutral spine. So however I keep my spine when I'm standing up is I'm going to keep it all the way down. Option 2, same leg, same arm. I'm going to kick back, come up, and again, you notice my knee stays about the same bent the entire time. When I come up, I squeeze that glute. Option 3, opposite arm, opposite leg. This puts more torque on your core, more torque on that lower back. So if they have lower back issues, I recommend that they do one of the other ones. And the other option that you have before you go up to the contralateral, actually option 1 is going to be here. Option 2 is going to be 2 arms. Option 3 is going to be same arm, same leg, and then option 4 is going to be opposite arm, opposite leg. So whatever works best for them. And you need to assess it. If they can't do proper form and the more advanced exercises, bring them down. The double kettlebell step up. So on the double kettlebell step up, shoulders are down and back. So think about rolling your shoulders down and back. Proud chest. You're going to push through the heel of that front leg. And you're going to keep that chest up. What you don't want to see is you don't want to see this, where people tilt forward. That means they don't have enough strength in their leg and they're using momentum to drive them through the exercise. So again, step straight up. Ideally, you do not want to bring that foot up and set it on the bench. So you're just coming up, back down. You can bend that back leg just a little bit so you can get to 90 degrees. Again, pressing through the heel, keeping that chest up. I would prefer to see people go heavier on the lower benches than even use the higher bench. The higher bench is going to put a lot more strain on that knee joint. Now, if they need to, or if they feel that they have to, that's okay, but the weight needs to be a little bit lower. For a new person, you do not need to use any weights at all. Just get them to step up. And for a brand new person that has an excessive amount of weight, get a step with no risers and just have them on the step and have them step up and back and step up and back, but have them concentrate on pushing through the heel and activating the glute. So starting to get their body to learn how to work on these exercises is important, but start them very, very easy. And then in time, you just keep adding risers, risers, risers until you can get them up to a bench like this. So that is the double kettlebell step up. Squat pulse. So on the squat pulse, the key to any squat is to keep the chest up, hips go back. You don't need to have a super wide stance, about a little bit wider than shoulder width. You're going to come down, hips go back, and chest stays up. On the pulse, you are going to stay low and you are going to pulse it. Very challenging to do for an extended period of time. In fact, and very, very difficult for a brand new person. For a brand new person, simply have them do a limited squat. So they're not even going to go that deep. They come up, squat, come up. So for your advanced people, they squat, they go low. You want them low, you want that chest up, and you want them pulsing, just like that. Again, for a new person, don't have them go low, don't have them stay low. They come up and they lock the legs, and they take that weight off the legs. But that is the squat pulse. your first exercise, your first new exercise is going to be the squat side step. So here, what you're going to do is put the band, it goes just above the knees. Now you're going to be using a little bit more intensity band there. That's probably a little bit light for most of you. You're going to try to grab a load. You don't have to use a load, but if you want to make it a little bit more intense, grab some load, squat position, and you're just going to side step. So right side, and then you would do left side. Okay, again, trying to keep that chest up and those hips down, knees back. You don't want the knees coming over the toes. And that's one that is going to be making